You are looking live here in beautiful Salt Lake City, Utah, here at DNA HQ. On today's episode, we have...
Let's break down our way too early Big 5 power rankings for the Big 12 Conference.
The Utah Jazz have exposed the NBA's gambling issues.
And let's talk the World Baseball Classic, along with some other baseball topics.
All that and more. My name is Darren. That is AJ. And this is the DNA Sports Recap.
Roll the intro.
Hello, Internet. Welcome to another edition of the DNA Sports Recap. My name is Darren. That is AJ. What is going on, my friend?
What up, what up?
How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. I'm glad to be here. You know, we got some drink. We got some notes. Like, I'm ready to get into it.
Yes, and for the almighty algorithm, this is apple juice. Cheers to your apple juice.
Boom. Cheers to you guys.
Got a lot to talk about today, man. Got a lot to talk about.
We do. We do. We came up with some good stuff.
Came to some good stuff. So let's go ahead and jump into it here. For those of you who are watching on the live stream, this is available as an audio podcast after the fact. If you're listening to this as an audio podcast, just know this is a live stream that we do this every Wednesday evening at 7:30 Mountain Time.
Yep, absolutely.
So be sure to join us. Jump in the comments, man. Jump in the chat. Let us know where you're watching from. All that good stuff.
Yeah, it makes the show fun.
It does. Feel free to comment if you're watching this on our live stream. Comment along. Let us know what your thoughts are in regards to what we're talking about. And, yeah, we'll get into it. Let's start with a little bit of football, shall we?
Let's get into it, man.
Okay. So what we do on this show every year, right around this time, right around early spring.
Yeah.
Spring practice is starting. Spring camp is opening up for all these teams, for all the Power 5 conferences, Power 4 conferences. No shade to the Pac-12, but, you know.
But you're not a Power 5 conference.
Power 5. As we get closer with the spring and everybody coming into their spring program there, forgoing a lot of spring games. Have you noticed this? A lot of teams are opting not to do a spring game, like a spring scrimmage.
It's kind of surprising to me.
It's a little
You feel like that would be, I mean, it's obviously not a ton of revenue because the tickets are usually relatively affordable.
Yeah.
But to support the fan base, you would think they would want to put their players out there and just get them some live reps. And I don't know. I love the spring game, so I hope Utah doesn't stop doing it.
Yeah, that's the great thing, man. I hope they keep doing it. Just a few things there on that. What we wanted to do starting this time is we wanted to jump into our way too early power rankings for the Big 12.
Yeah.
Being that we are a Utah football channel, that's kind of what we wanted to start with.
Yep.
So before we do that, let's go ahead and jump into a quick reminder, folks. We want to remind you,
Maybe.
there it is. I found it. I got you there. We want to remind you, folks, if you're watching this on our live stream or listening on the podcast, we did launch a channel specifically for your Utah football team. Utah Football DNA is that channel. A link will be in the description down below. Make sure you join the channel, subscribe, and throw us a like, slap us some engagement. We will do some kind of giveaway once this channel hits 1,000 subscribers.
And all of our Utah football content will be posted here.
That's right. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Check it out. Links in the description. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into it, man. When it comes to the Big 12 power rankings, we want to start at 5 and kind of work our way up.
Always, dude. You got to build up.
Got to build up the anticipation.
Yeah, so much anticipation.
Once again, folks, if you're watching this live, please jump in the comments. Let us know what your thoughts are on our rankings here. We'd love to hear from you. Love to hear some feedback from you.
Yeah.
All right, so you want to go ahead and get kicked off with number 5, or do you want me to?
Yeah, absolutely. At
Okay,
number
you jump
5,
at 5.
At number 5, I have the Arizona Wildcats.
Okay.
So I think Brett Brennan's done a fantastic job with this program. He turned them from 4 wins in his first season to 9 in the second. And he was this team was in a really similar position to Utah at the end of the season last year, where they were kind of hoping a couple teams lose. You know, they had a chance to kind of make it into the Big 12 championship. They had a path there. I think they're at the top end of the conference because they still have Noah Fafita, who's sensational. He's in his senior season. And he's really just been incredible his whole time at Arizona. And I really love that he's kind of chosen to stay. There's been some head coaching changes, and he's just kind of stayed steady through the program. I think he can easily lead them to the top end of the conference.
I like it, man. I like it. It's funny that you mentioned that, how they're in a similar situation to University of Utah. Because believe it or not, I've got the University of Utah ranked as my 5th school.
Oh, wow. Wow. Okay. That's fine. That's fine. Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
So they are 11-2 last year, 11-2 overall with the 7-2 conference play last year. The reason why they have them number 5 is actually they were going to be much higher, and it's going to be funny because you're going to laugh at where they were going to be. But we do need to expect some fall off from this, right? You're losing your head coach of 2 decades practically.
Yeah.
And then, you have a new offensive coordinator coming in, a new defensive coordinator coming in. Sure, you're keeping a lot of your talent from your team, but your whole offensive line is gone. You got to replenish that. And you are keeping your star quarterback in Devin Dampier. But this is why I don't have them falling completely off. This is not a negative. This is a positive that I still have them in my top 5.
Yeah.
This conference is actually going to be growing. I actually see this conference actually getting more than just their conference champion in the college football playoff this year.
Yeah.
There's so much more talent in this conference this year than last year that I just think even being in the top 5 is going to be a pretty decent.
Yeah, that's an accomplishment for sure.
There are going to be some fall off, so I do expect some things to change for the University of Utah. But if there is one man that you would expect to not have a drop off, right? We go from what I like to call the big headset, right? We take the big headset away from Kyle Whittingham, right? And we hand it to another man, right?
Yeah.
If there's a man in Utah football that is more Utah football than Coach Witt, it's Morgan Scalley.
Yep.
Morgan Scalley is the man. He's been on this team for the last 20 seasons, AJ.
Yep.
All-American defensive back in 2001 to 2004 as a player, and he's been on the coaching staff since 2007. He has been the defensive coordinator for 10 years, and for this reason, I'm expecting a strong season right out the gate from Morgan Scalley. Yeah, not even to mention the fact you still have Devin Dampier under center with Wayshawn Parker in the backfield. I still expect Utah to have a great season, but I do see them dropping off from what we basically were tied for number 3 previous year. I do see some drop-offs. That's why I have them at number 5.
Okay. I love it.
Yeah.
Why don't you go into 4?
Number 4, I have Houston.
Excellent. So to break the ice on this one, I also have Houston at number 4. So you can go into yours. Okay. I'll follow up with mine.
Okay. Fair enough. So Houston is, that's why I think you're going to laugh about the Utah-Arizona comparison. So Houston, they were 9-4 overall last year, 6-3 in conference. Building through the portal, man, is exactly what this team is doing. We talked about a little bit in our pre-show chat there. The complete overhaul of the O-line with, Anthony Boswell. As it's Shadray Hurst. Shadray Hurst? Shadray Hurst. I've heard it both ways. And also Hayden Wright on the O-line there. You also have Trent Walker at the wide receiver and Mekhi Hughes as a running back. All these are additions from the portal on the offensive side of the ball, which is definitely a revamp for sure. Defensively, you also have Ashton Parker as an edge rusher, Jaden Yates as a linebacker, and Javon White at the secondary. So you're talking about a lot of players that coming from a lot of great programs, both in the Big 12, in the Big 10. I believe there's a couple SEC or ACC transfers. Anyway, they pulled in a lot of talent, and they're kind of going the Texas Tech route on this one.
Yeah.
We're trying to throw a lot of money to a lot of players. Reason why I have them 4th is that doesn't always work for every school. It's not something you can't be the Golden State Warriors if you don't have Steph.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you got to have Steph, and Houston has to prove it to me that they can completely reload. I know they were 9-4 overall last year, and they had they were in like that huddle of that 3rd to 4th place in the rankings. So I expect them to hold steady at where they were, and that's why I got them at number 4.
I totally agree. I think that Willie Fritz, the head coach, he really started showing this team that they're capable of winning. And that's really important as a younger program. And then for them to lean into the transfer portal. I love the approach. Obviously it worked for Texas Tech last season. That team went from bottom end of the conference to obviously the very top of the conference. I have them before because they have some tough road games. I mean, they got Texas Tech on the road, Kansas State on the road, Utah on the road. The rest of their schedule is pretty easy though. So, I mean, they could easily hit 10 wins this season and be in really good shape that way. You get 10 wins, you're going to be competing for, you have a chance to compete for a conference championship. So I like this Houston Cougars team. The running back addition of Mekhi Hughes is big time. He's going to help this team right out the gate. I like Houston at 4.
Yeah, I agree. I like them at 4. I don't know if they get to 10 wins though. I think they hold steady at 9-4.
Yeah, that's a tough road schedule too.
Yeah,
You know, and yeah, and then I think they play Texas Tech in like their third game. It's like they have 2 non-conference, and then they play Texas Tech, and then they have another non-conference game. So it's like that's just a really, you know, you can lose momentum really quick by playing a team as good as Texas Tech and that much talent on the field. I'll be interested to see.
Yeah, that was my deciding factor on strength of schedule between 4 and 5.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I was sitting on that one too.
Yeah.
Do you want me to go to number 3?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so number 3, I have Arizona.
Arizona. Okay.
So I can take a guess what your number 3 is. Anyway, so they are 9-4 overall with 6-3 in conference play last year. They do have their star quarterback in Noah Fafita, like you mentioned before. He had over 3,200 yards, 3,200 yards, total yards last year, 29 touchdowns, tied for 9th in the country, by the way, last year.
Yeah.
QBR ranking of a 71.2 back in for his final year of eligibility. And like you mentioned it, man, Coach Brennan really is building around this guy. And he has improved year over year. First year was 4-win team. Now flipped the standings there and made it a 9-win team. And I only see him being able to, even though the conference I think has gotten stronger, I don't think that's going to adhere his development, not only as a head coach, but able to really build around the star quarterback that he has in Fafita. So that's why I got them sitting at number 3.
Yeah, no, I mean, I like it. That was really tough for me because I do think Arizona's a really good football team. So I agree with you. At number 3, I have the BYU Cougars.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Hear me out. Okay. LJ Martin, Bear Bachmeier, both back. You expect him to continue to roll on offense. You bring back Isaiah Glasker on defense. Follow Tua Satualua. Can't say it.
Yeah.
Satualua. Yeah. Those couple guys are going to help, you know, anchor this always impressive Kalani Sitake defense. They are without Jay Hill, so there is some changes for BYU. Losing your defensive coordinator could hurt BYU in this scenario. I think you got Kalani Sitake, who's kind of built their base, but they are without their leading wide receiver in Parker Kingston, who he was supposed to be one of their big offensive weapons. Now you can lean on LJ Martin. I think is a fantastic back that's going to produce a ton of yards this year. And Bear Bachmeier, I don't know how he does it, but the dude wins games.
Yeah, we spent the first half of the year wondering if we kept talking about that with BYU.
Yeah,
is this team
you
for
just
real?
didn't know. Yeah.
Is this team for real, or are they just they're just finding ways to win? And I think that's just part of their.
And it was all Bear Bachmeier too. Like you watch it in some of these games, he just at the end you didn't think that they had a chance, and all of a sudden he'd pull out and make a great play and get a first down and throw a touchdown. And very, very, very impressed. I mean, the team's been sneaky good. I think Kalani Sitake has like the 3rd most wins of any head coach in the last 4 or 5 seasons. And in the past 2 seasons, they're 23-4 with 2 of those losses coming to Texas Tech last year. So this is a good football team, man. This is a really good football team.
Yeah. And that's why I have them ranked 2nd.
I totally understand that.
BYU is 12-2 overall last year with an 8-1 conference last year. This is, to me, man, this is the best team that Kalani Sitake has had, full stop.
Yeah.
In the last 2 seasons, they are 23-4 with 2 of, like you mentioned, both of their losses last year coming to the same team, Texas Tech, and you cannot fault them for that. Running back LJ Marking is at the top. Is one of the top rushers in the nation on this team. Like you mentioned, Bear Bachmeier, should be improving in year 2 over what he already did last year. They also have Isaiah Glasker at linebacker and Keanu Tanuvasa at defensive tackle.
He's the Utah transfer.
Yeah, but I think that, I still, Utah guy, I think it's going to do.
I agree.
I think he's going to have a breakout year for BYU. Basically, man, the way you put it, man, this team, they had some losses. They lost their defensive coordinator, and they, technically lost one of their star players. But that happened the year before, too.
Absolutely. And they still showed up.
They still showed up, and they still were in the conference title game. So this is the type of team that even though they lose a star player, it's next man up mentality down there for Kalani Sitake, and I don't think that they're going to let, this change anything.
Yeah.
I think this team's going to continue, and this team is very, very much title game or bust. It's either A, they're in the title game, or B, they're in the CFP, or it's a busted season for them.
Yeah.
I think that's why I have BYU ranked 2nd.
I agree. I'm going to go with Utah.
Gee, I wonder why.
At 2. I just think You got Morgan Scally, obviously taking on the big headset. Okay. He's, I think it's really important to watch the offensive style that Morgan Scally had. You still had the same head coach or the same offensive coordinator under Jason Beck at that ball game. But if you pay attention, they threw the ball up the field a whole lot more. And I think this is going to help push Devin Dampier to the next level. Because for Devin Dampier to be successful, he's got to be able to get the ball up the field. If there's no down the field threats, his elite ability to scramble and get out of the pocket and make plays with his legs don't do you any good because they're just going to sit on it.
Right.
So it's going to help Devin Dampier a whole ton. A whole ton. That is a strange word. This offensive line has a ton of young talent. And I think that Jordan Gross is the guy to help continue the legacy of great offensive linemen at the University of Utah. We got some really good guys coming in. I mean, the biggest one in Kelvin Obot, the first 5-star for Utah. We all know about him.
That's huge.
But we also got like Isaiah Garcia, who was, I think he's a 4-star recruit out of Utah. And I think he redshirted last year because obviously we had a ton of offensive talent last year. But the gigantic thing for Utah, and the reason that I have them at 2 rather than 3, is Devin Dampier. And you can just see that he has a really focused, he's really focused on his ability to throw a really good, accurate ball. And he improved his accuracy so much and kept the ball out of harm's way last year. And I mean, obviously he's naturally crafty, right? I mean, he's going to have moments where the O-line's going to slip up and he kind of erases a lot of that stuff because he's so good in the pocket. The defense is always going to be good. And I mean, I think it's important. I mean, back on Devin Dampier, his improvement, it was noticeable in every single game. Like you saw him get better every single game. I mean, to the point where even like my wife made the comment to me, like watching him throw the ball on the sidelines before some of these games, you're just like, he looks better than he did last game. Like these balls they're more on the dot. They're right where they need to be. He's making better reads. Like, so the defense is going to be good. And Utah was in a lot of blowout wins last year where I think some of these young defensive players got moments where it's going to really help them. It really helped them probably develop in this future, in this next season. And we got to see some of those future players play. And I don't know, Utah too. Go Utes.
No surprise that the season ticket holder is for the Utes is putting the Utes at 2. There's no homer bias there at all.
Not at all.
Okay. Love it, man. I absolutely love it. I agree when it comes a lot to what you said about University of Utah and how I feel that I just can't, there's got to be some drop off from this changeover. I can't see them performing better this year than with this conference being the way it is. So that's kind of like, that's my argument there.
So I thought the same thing, but when we had a changeover of offensive coordinator, we were really worried about, Jason Beck.
Point. That's a fair point. Well, I think Jason Beck that was a great pickup for that team.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. I'd love to be proven wrong on this one and see them be all the way up at number 2 for sure. With that said, let's go ahead and jump into number 1. I'm going to start with Texas Tech. I'll jump into that.
Yeah.
One of the greatest 90s movies of all time was Money Talks, Charlie Sheen and Chris Tucker.
Yep.
Have you ever seen it? If you haven't seen it, if you know, you know. One of the greatest movies of all time, and it's also true in college football. After spending spree of last year, they cruised through the conference by winning 8 of their 9 games by multiple possessions. They had the best defense in Big 12 history last year, according to defensive rankings. Quarterback Brendan Sorsby is the top-rated transfer that should be ready to go for their revamped offense. Returning key contributors is going to be the linebacker John Curry and Ben Roberts. We shouldn't see much slip up from this team at all.
Yeah. So I think my biggest concern with Texas Tech is going to be Brendan Sorsby. I watched him play at Cincinnati. Okay. I don't know if he was all that great. Like, I mean, I understand he was the top rated portal quarterback.
Right. Which doesn't always necessarily mean.
And Cincinnati looked great in the first part of the year until they got to where? The University of Utah.
Exactly. Yeah. I think it's like,
and Utah ran him out of that stadium.
Yeah. It's like,
Brendan Sorsby looked horrible.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like the best player available on a bad draft. You're like,
exactly. And I understand that they obviously had to go in and get a quarterback because they lost theirs.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if Brendan Sorsby was the guy that, does he throw a good ball? Sometimes, yeah, he does. But if you can get pressure into the backfield, he does not play well under pressure. He didn't make great reads. I mean, the Utes defense, as good as they are, made him look really bad in the game when Cincinnati was here.
Yes.
If you're going to make me choose between Devin Dampier and Brendan Sorsby, I'm taking Dampier every day.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you on that one for sure. If Dampier entered the portal and didn't go straight to Michigan, I think he would have been the top quarterback available
Absolutely.
in the portal. The only thing I have to say about that is I just think that Texas Tech has a lot better offensive options for Sorsby than what Cincinnati was offering. So, to me, I think he's going to perform a little bit better. He's going to slide right in a little bit easier. That's just my only thing why I think it's kind of more like a turnkey type thing for him. But yeah, I can definitely see your concern there for sure. You still haven't taken the conference though?
I don't know. I think Texas Tech.
Well, are they not ranked number one for you?
They're ranked number one for sure.
Okay.
I mean, and that's the thing is they won the conference last year by a landslide. You know what I mean? They beat the second best team in the conference twice.
Yes.
So when you're at the top, you're at the top until someone proves that you're not at the top. So let's see how the season goes. I'm excited, man. I think this could be another great season for Texas Tech for sure.
Yeah, no, I'd have to agree with you, man. We want to hear from you folks. Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. Please feel free to roast us on our picks there on where we at. With
I'm sure it's coming.
It's going to come, man.
Yeah.
It definitely is. We do have a comment we want to hit up here. We have one from Aaron here. Let me go ahead and jump this one, throw this one up on the screen here. I feel like this will be a stand-up or stand-out year for Utah.
Stand-up and stand-out
Stand-up and stand-out year for Utah. Love it. Love it. I had to agree with you, man. Like, when it comes to the University of Utah, I think that this team, I mentioned it a couple of weeks ago that we need to see like where this team's identity is. But the more and more I realize, Maureen Scally has been here as long as, anybody in college football. I think this team already has an identity. It's just whether or not the players will buy into this team's identity going forward, in my opinion.
And I don't know if they're going to have as much of that issue because of the guy Morgan Scally is and because who he's been to this program. I think this transition will be more seamless than a lot of people are thinking. And it's a really exciting year for Utah.
Agreed. Once again, folks, we want to hear from you. Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments down below when it comes to the Big 12 power rankings. We want to hear from you. All right, so before we move on from the University of Utah, believe it or not, man, I've got some good news for the University of Utah football fans.
Hell yeah, you do.
I've got some good news. Congratulations, folks. Congratulations. You now have the chance to cheer for a team that isn't the best team in the state. This isn't something that you can say over the past 23 years or so. So if you're a young buck, you're younger than us, especially younger than me, there hasn't been a time where Utah hasn't been the dominant team in the state.
Yeah.
Over the past 25 years, approximately 2001 all the way up to 2025, the University of Utah has been pretty much dominating their rival the whole time against BYU, winning roughly 15 out of the 23 matchups they've played together over this period. Utah has made a significant stranglehold over the rivalry with winning 9 straight from 2010 to 2018.
Yeah.
Though BYU has won the most recent matchups in 2021, 2024, and 2025. The reason why I want to bring this up is this rivalry has very much been a pendulum swing, right? Utah has dominated the Holy War, going from if you go back all the way, let's go back to 1896.
Yeah.
Okay. And all the way from 1896 to 1971, Utah has dominated this rivalry. Then you go for the next 20 years, BYU showed a nice 20-year run where they loosely run most of those 2 decades, only losing twice in 20 years in the 70s and 80s. Then there's some back and forth over the next couple of years, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then starting in 2020, then starting in 2002, all the way up to 2021, Utah's maintained control. Sure, Utah's a 2-time Pac-12 championship of the year, right? They won 2 Pac-12 titles as well as a WAC title, I guess is what it's called, Western Conference Championship. I can't remember which one. Nobody even cares about that one. And they were also in the only team to be a top 5 ranked team in the country this century. The University of Utah has. But Utah has taken a step back. They've lost 3 straight to the Cougars. BYU has had the head coach courted by a Big 12 program, and he stayed.
Big 10 program.
What did I say?
Big 12. But
I looked right at
Big
10.
10. Penn State, yeah.
Yeah. So BYU had their head coach courted by a Big 10 team.
Yeah.
And he stayed.
Yeah.
Utah lost theirs as soon as the same offer came calling. BYU has made it to the Big 12 title game last year, and we're 1 win away. AJ, 1 win away from the CFP. So, are we getting some 80s nostalgia here? Is the pendulum swinging back towards BYU, and we're going to see a BYU run going for another decade or so? Or is this just a little blip on the road for the boys up on the hill? I want to hear your thoughts.
I'm gonna lean more towards blip in the road.
Well, because you're picking them second in the conference this year.
That's correct. I feel like the Utes have been, just this last year, they were 1 to 2 plays. Actually 2 years in a row, 1 to 2 plays away from beating BYU in both of those games. And yes, they lost them. Absolutely. But in one of those games, there was a questionable call. In the other game, there was a series of 4th down calls that shouldn't have cost us field goals, but we decided to go for them, and an always competitive rivalry game.
Field goals matter.
But yeah. And
Quote from a donor.
It's huge, man. And I think that you look at Utah and the team that they continue to produce this season will tell all as far as whether the pendulum is swinging. Morgan Scalley, if Utah has a really bad year and with a first-year head coach, it could really hurt their ability to get transfer players. It could hurt their ability to sign players out of high school. When you're successful, you can keep being successful because players want to come play for you. Players don't know what Morgan Scalley is capable of. We as Utah fans don't know what Morgan Scalley is capable of. And when we find out, it's going to tell the whole tale of which way is this rivalry going to go for the next 4 to 5 years. We know Kalani Sitake's a very talented head coach. We know they get talent at BYU. There's big recruiting differences between these two schools. You don't even recruit the same types of players most of the time. Like you're getting guys that are, and it's because, you got some honor code stuff at BYU where I think that does change some of the things where it's like, if you're going to be 30 miles away from each other, both these teams are competing for a Big 12 title. I don't know. I think there's some of that stuff that's going to, sway a player here and sway a player there. But I think that, I'm leaning more towards a blip. I think I could see Utah come around, but like I said, it's going to be really telling here in this next season will tell a lot.
Yeah. I like it. I think you're going to be spot on that one with this next season being a lot, because if you look over the history of the rivalry, by the way, really interesting. If you get a chance to study a Wikipedia page, the Holy War is definitely one of them.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, it's a pain in the butt to fact check that. You got to go. You always got to fact check Wikipedia.
Absolutely.
Going over that sort of.
It's real easy to update Wikipedia as just anybody.
Yeah. So, man, that was fun. That was a lot of research, a lot of clicking back and forth on 2 different spreadsheets to make sure I got it right. But you'll see quite a few times that when the other takes over and the pendulum swings, it's not the 3rd in a row. It's there's been 3 in a row, but there's usually 1 and then a loss and then 2 wins and then the 1. So we've seen 3 wins steadily with that 1 year between the 2 being a gap year where these teams didn't play. So I would assume that one would be the swing one. So if you look historically over this team, over this franchise, and I know completely different players, completely different coaching, not the same. Look at the games, man. There's a pattern.
Yeah.
There's a pattern of dominance going back and forth over the last 50, 60 years. I say that this year is going to decide whether or not which way that pendulum swings.
Yeah.
And it's not just a blip. It could be a swing, but this year is the year, my friend, that's going to decide whether or not this is just a blip on the radar, or we can look forward to BYU being the dominant program in Utah for the next 5 to 10 years.
Yeah. I don't want that to happen. I really
course
don't.
not.
I can't.
It's Utah football DNA, man.
I can't.
know I'm
Yeah,
wearing
this
blue
is-
right now, but that has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, no, this is Utah football DNA for a reason.
Exactly.
And I think we've got some really good young players coming up, and I think we've got a good chance. I like Morgan Scally. I like what he's doing. I like the coaches he brought in. Go Utes.
Yeah, absolutely, man. We want to hear from you folks. Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. We want to hear from you. Do you think this is just a blip on the radar of BYU just kind of taking it to the University of Utah over the last couple of years and kind of asserting themselves as the more predominant school in the state? Or, is it just going to be a
Maybe it's
thing?
Utah State.
Yeah, it's not happening.
They're Pac-12 now.
Sure. That's a real thing. That's a real thing. Yeah, we want to hear from you. As a reminder, folks, we did just launch a channel specifically for you, Utah football, called Utah Football DNA. It's a channel specifically dedicated to all of our Utah football content will be posted here on this channel. So if you're watching this on our live stream or you're listening to our podcast afterwards, on either one of them, the YouTube or the audio podcast, a link to Utah Football DNA will be in the description down below. This is where all of our content is going for in the future. So make sure you check it out and subscribe to the channel. We'll be doing some type of giveaway once we hit 1,000 subscribers on that channel. You got nothing to add there?
Yeah. Yeah. So I was just zoning in. I was just listening to you.
I like it.
Like spell it out. You did a great job.
Yeah. A few of the comments here we want to hit real quick is Aaron did say, "Oh yeah, and go Big Blue." Yeah. So
Michigan fans, man.
let us know, dude. Let us know. What's your confidence going in to this spring season with Coach Witt?
Coach Witt under the big headset.
Exactly.
Dude, I'm gonna get you like a gigantic headset, like just a big, like we're talking massive headset.
There's already too much crap in this office. Sorry,
Too much crap.
in the studio. When we go to the Big Ten, we won't matter, and
We won't have to worry about BYU anymore.
very fair point.
It's a great
man.
point, Greg.
Great point,
Great
Greg.
point.
I like it. I like where his head's at on there. As you mentioned, we talked about it several times on this channel about how this is just an audition period for the next phase of college football.
The next phases of college football are really what's important.
Yeah, the next 5 years from the time that BYU entered the Big 12 till maybe two or three more years is going to decide the next stage of the college football. And trust me, you want to be on the inside, looking out, not the other way around.
Yep.
So these are definitely audition years for both schools for sure. Love that we got also a comment here. Not just a blip on the road from Aaron. Absolutely love
Who's a Michigan fan? See, these guys know.
it. See, yeah, sure. Well, they know how to recruit a head coach. That's for sure.
Good point. Good point. Sad, but good.
Penn State, man, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah.
All right, man. So you want to go ahead and pivot on over and talk a little bit about the Utah Jazz?
Yeah, let's get into some Utah Jazz basketball, huh?
All right, man. Well, it's a shame we don't have McKinley with us on this one. I really thought he'd be enjoying some of that BYU talk that we were talking about. But we're going to talk a little bit about Utah Jazz DNA. Now, as a reminder, folks, we did start a channel specifically for your Utah Jazz called Utah Jazz DNA. This is where all of our Utah Jazz content is going to be posted. So if you're watching this on our live stream or you're listening on our podcast afterwards, a link to Utah Jazz DNA will be posted in the description. This is where all of our Utah Jazz content is going. Look at this beautiful layover here that AJ put together. Fantastic.
You guys are welcome.
Either that's not centered or we're not centered.
Yeah, I haven't seen any comments about our new graphics, and I don't appreciate that. So
Yeah.
maybe just say something. They look great. Nothing. Okay, it's fine.
All right. Hey, we got McKinley in the house.
Oh, what's up?
Dude, I was showing BYU some love, man, and I heard nothing from you, my dog. What's going on?
Yeah,
What is going
that
on?
was pretty sad.
I know. I was
That
expecting
was
to hear
a
something
sad
from you.
moment. Yeah.
Yeah, showing BYU some love, and I got nothing from my guy. Anyway, so that's totally fine, dude. Appreciate it. Thanks for jumping in. Thanks for chiming in on the comments, letting us know you're here. Appreciate it. Okay. Well, you're gonna just busy. Can't comment on much tonight. Okay. Well, buddy, this is gonna be a victory lap episode for you, my friend. Victory lap episode for you. So make sure you listen.
Greg commented.
Greg, channel legend.
What up?
New graphics look good.
Thanks, Greg.
Appreciate it, Greg.
It was all me.
Yeah, it was a great work, actually. Great work. All right, so what we want to do is we want to talk about not the University of Utah. we want to talk about the Utah Jazz and kind of go over something. Do you want me to intro this?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
Okay, so over the past few weeks on the channel, we have been discussing the reasons why the Utah Jazz seem to be giving an unfavorable target for their tanking over the last couple of years. We've had several opinions about this, and which makes sense on some of them for sure. Utah Jazz are an easy target, an easy one to punch down to. We also had other ideas of, and actually other things that came out to be true on how OKC are acting, kind of treating the Jazz a little dirty there and using some back channels to get media outlets to talk about and pressure the Jazz into losing their pick.
Yeah.
Right? Which again, that was also true. That actually did happen. And it didn't, but to us, that all didn't quite add up. Something definitely seemed to be missing.
No.
But honestly, we truly see what the NBA is truly doing. And this is something that's a problem for the NBA, really with all sports, honestly. It's really a problem for all sports, but specifically the NBA. And it's not about tanking. This league has bent a knee to protect its profitable relationship with gambling companies.
100%. It just continues to buy in and bring in massive amounts of revenue. And what the NBA is trying to do is they're not trying to make sure that teams aren't tanking. They're trying to make sure that they can control lines, they can control parlays. They've had enough issues with players who are going out of their way to make sure that people close to them are winning parlays. They've caught a few of them. How many haven't they caught is a huge question. But when it's as, the league says as obvious as the Jazz losing games or sitting players in a fourth quarter, that they are directly affecting the Jazz or players specifically on betting lines. And I found a really interesting stat on Lauri Markkanen. So for the last 15 games, Lauri Markkanen has had a betting line at 23.5 points. Now, would you guess that he has been over or under in those 15 games?
Oh, well, I would assume he would be under.
You'd assume that, right?
Because of the way the Jazz are playing.
Yeah. Lauri Markkanen's been over in 13 of his last 15 games, over 23.5. He's averaging 27 right now.
Interesting. And he's doing a lot of this in 3 quarters.
In 3 quarters. So what we're seeing is the Jazz are getting extra efficient in these 3 quarters and playing great basketball in 3 quarters. And then, we saw them, players were sitting down in the fourth quarter and, you're moving guys out of the lineup. And, now we've got a ton of injuries that are just happening everywhere on the roster.
And conveniently, a bunch of players need to be shut down for the year.
The whole year. Everyone's
Sorry.
done. Yeah. Laurie got a hip. I mean,
Yeah.
Nurkic needed nasal surgery.
Yeah, he needed the nose fixed. Weird.
It's been really interesting to see the way that the Jazz have been, the Jazz have only been favored to win in one of these, the last 8 games. And that was against Sacramento, which they did win. But to think of the effect that gambling is going to have on all of these games, you can set the line wherever you want. But I don't know. I mean, it's a really rough time for the NBA because the Jazz are, well, not just the Jazz, but teams in the NBA are going out of their way to lose games and put themselves in positions for draft picks. And it's completely obvious.
Yeah. And what it's done is it's exposed what the NBA is truly valuing.
Yeah.
Right now. It's not about tanking.
No.
Because we would have heard about this back in the Wemby days.
Yeah.
When there was 10, 11, 12 teams trying to intentionally lose games to get Wemby.
Yeah.
For some reason, the Jazz didn't care enough to try and win that one, but whatever.
And how big was sports betting in the Wemby days 4 or 5 years ago?
Not
probably a quarter as big as it is now.
Yeah, they were just happy to be they were just happy to have the sponsorship and be legal.
Yep.
But now we're watching this. We saw this. We and McKinley in particular mentioned it right out the gate. And if you look back at it, I want to bet you these betting houses lost tens of millions of dollars in that fourth quarter trick that the Jazz pulled.
Yeah.
It didn't, because we're like, doesn't matter. The Jazz are playing their players, they're just not playing in the fourth quarter. Okay, so why does that affect tanking? And in the 2 out of the 3 games that they got cited for sitting them in the fourth quarter, the Jazz won 2 of their games. So that's also not about tanking. what's the only other option that's available to you? It's the fact that them sitting those players are going to ruin the prop bets on the players themselves, and that's going to cost these betting houses millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah.
That's the real problem here. Has absolutely nothing to do with the Jazz being a bottom team they can just beat up on. It has nothing to do with the whole tanking thing. It has, because that has been a problem for years, ever since the lottery system's been implemented, and they've never seemed to care until now. Until a profitable business partner has said, no, you're going to have to shut that down. Now it's a problem.
Yeah, you've got to do something about it, and you've got to do something about it now. Because what you're doing is making it impossible for us to set odds that make us money.
Which makes no sense, because even still, lottery marketing is still over.
Still over. So, I don't know. It's really interesting. It's really interesting. And there's I don't know, man. It's funny because I started looking up all these like all of these lines, and I'm just like,
yeah,
the Jazz are still like right where you'd think they would be in all these games. So they have an inside line on whatever's happening. You know what I mean? Like they're still setting the odds, they're still setting the lines where they're supposed to be. But when the Jazz start doing something egregious, or any team starts doing something egregious and saying this is what we're going to do, these betting companies are making sure that they're in the loop of what's going to happen.
Oh yeah. And it's across all sports. I mean, we saw this with Whittingham not reporting injury reports.
Yeah.
Them throwing up a big fit about that, and that made a sweeping change in college football about how to report, and when to report. That changed that whole thing. And when it comes to other leagues, still have issues. Baseball, you got Emmanuel Clase throwing at roosters. If you know. And then you, not so much in the NFL. You got some issues there too with betting and stuff like that. We could go into that on a different time, but this channel is definitely not an NFL channel. We tried it.
No, that was
you guys
horrible.
didn't like it, so we're not doing it again. But yeah, it's clear. And the NBA is the biggest problem with this. They have the biggest issue. They have the most egg on their face for being obvious about this.
Yeah.
Every other league, they got some problems with it, but the NBA's got the worst. And the NBA can't afford this right now. They already had the gambling scandal where they had to suspend one player for life. They have another player under against in the investigation. They have Chauncey Billups, longtime player and head coach, walking around with his agency's hoodie on, saying, "Hey, dude, you guys better help me out here." That's also under investigation. You've got the Los Angeles Clippers owner talking about trying to pay a player under the table $50 million. And not to mention, oh, by the way, all the stuff that came up with all the NBA figures in the Epstein files.
Yeah.
Also something that got buried. This thing is this is what they decided to stand on.
Yeah.
This is where they decide to point their flag on the ground and say, hey, we can't have these teams not playing good basketball.
Yeah.
All this stuff, this is when you decide to do something about it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. This is a really bad look for the NBA. And shame on them and shame on the commissioner's office for pointing a finger at the Utah Jazz as being the real problem.
And it's no wonder that the NBA is steadily losing viewership every single year. Year over year, they're the fastest declining sport in all major sports right now. It just doesn't surprise me. I mean, these games have become worse and worse to watch. They allow more fouls. They allow travels now. Like, the games become really difficult to watch because and it's all in the NBA's effort to try to make it easier to watch.
More entertaining. More points. I need more points. Faster paced game.
I just don't know if everybody...
That's not what we actually want as fans.
You guys chime in. Like, do you want to watch an NBA game and see him score 140 points? No. I guess that's just not what I want to see as an NBA fan. I want to see some defense being played.
I want to see some defense. I want some offense.
I want to see turnovers when guys take 4 steps to the basket. Like, play the game the way it's supposed to be played. That's the most important thing here.
Yeah.
And if you get back to those roots of playing games the way they're supposed to be played, everyone's going to get back to winning games like you're supposed to be trying to do. You're supposed to win games, but you've got to figure out a system so that teams get rewarded for winning games as well.
As long as you have a system in place where teams can benefit from losing games, you're going to have this problem.
Absolutely.
Tanking is an issue. We're not going to deny that. You want to hear a really gross stat about tanking?
I do.
I heard this today. Gross stat. As of this morning, the bottom tier teams, the bottom 10 teams, which include teams like the Wizards, the Pacers, the Jazz, the Nets, have combined to contribute to a 40-game losing streak.
Wow.
40 games.
Wow. 40 straight?
Yes. Now, that's as of this morning. Don't know if the Jazz won tonight. I'm assuming they lost. They're playing the Sixers.
Yeah.
They were losing at the time. But, yes, that is insane. 40, That's a lot of players trying to suck just to be a part of this draft.
That is a lot of really bad coaching.
Yeah. So
I'm just kidding. No,
yeah,
it's not necessarily bad coaching. Obviously, we know some of these coaches are great. They just
you turn on the NBA and there's a 1 in 3 chance that you automatically know who's going to win the game.
Yeah.
And that's just not fun.
Yeah.
And again, not good for betting.
Yeah, not good for betting at all.
Yeah. So anyway, I just think that the NBA made their bed and they got to lay in it, man. And they're going to try and point the finger into different things, but they need to realize that what they're doing is going to be the issue. Thank you very much, Greg Hawkins, channel legend, for letting us know they lost. So again, totally okay with that. Need that to happen. Too many wins for this team lately.
Yeah, at 18.
Yeah, it's too many.
We got some good comments in there.
That should be the top. Like that should be this end of the year win total, 18. I'm just saying. I'm not saying, I'm just saying. If we scroll back here, we've got a friend of the channel, Tammy Price, jumping in here and saying,
how about those graphics?
I like it. And I like how you said that, Tammy. That's a nice little call out to the former announcer to the Utah Jazz. How about them Jazz? So I don't know if you did that on purpose, Tammy, but I love it either way. So we got a comment here from McKinley Cutler stating that talking about the picks, talking about the pick. Keontae giving me heart attacks in the last 2 games. We got lucky. Key in playing ridiculous in the clutch. Yes, he absolutely is. Yes. Did you watch that game where he took a shot, a 3-pointer at the buzzer?
Yeah.
I'm like, please don't make that.
Please don't. Yeah.
But that's what you want to see.
I was at the Denver game.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I ended up going.
Nice.
And I talked to you on Monday, and then Steph came home, and she was like, oh, yeah, we got tickets.
Sweet.
I was like, word, let's go.
Nice. Good game, man. And that's exactly what you want to see. Is you want to see the Jazz compete for 4 quarters and lose the game. That's what you want to see this season, because you're going to see
all the way down to the last play, even, because it was such a good game, such a fun game to be at. And these young guys are getting such valuable time in these minutes playing against playoff level teams.
Check out our videos on who deserves those 4th quarter minutes.
Yes. Great videos, in my opinion.
We'll be posting those to the Utah Jazz channel, Utah Jazz DNA channel here shortly.
Yep.
Because I believe they're on the main channel, right?
Yeah, I think those finished ones were on the main. So, but they're all coming this way. Check out Utah Jazz DNA. All of our content's going to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. Good point there on McKinley. You also have another one here. I think I saw a knee injury when Jokic
pancaked Key. Yeah. Maybe he needs to be shut down. Wink, wink.
Yes,
it. He's playing too good, man.
I love. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he really he's ready. He's ready to be on a playoff caliber team. He's ready to contribute to a playoff caliber team.
Agreed. Did you see the Joker just kind of go crazy after he got hip checked by what's his name?
I did see that.
Dort or whatever his name
insane. Yeah, Lou Dort.
Yeah, dirtiest player in the NBA, man. Dirtiest player in the NBA.
That play was so bad too.
Like, he does it all the time, dude.
So blatant.
He's making what's his name from Golden State Warrior look like a guy who's just being caught in a bad spot.
Yeah.
So many nut checks. So many like throwing a hip in to knock the guy down.
Yeah.
So dirty. It's not only the front office for OKC dirty, the players are too. So we got another comment here from Greg Hawkins saying the current lottery setup encourages teams to tank for multiple years. Yeah, it's not just 1 or 2 years. Like it's encouragement. If we had it on just a wheel where all 30 teams were on a wheel and you're in first place, second place, third place for the draft, which years you're going to be dropping in the top 5. Like, so where your competing window is, and when, so it would just be a lot better to kind of have that swing. And they're like, oh, well, you can't have the first pick of the first 5. No, let them know. Let them know ahead of time. Let the teams that are in the top 5 of the NBA right now be on the bottom of the wheel. That way, when these players age out, they're right there for the draft. Like, just set a constant wheel so no tanking is beneficial.
It's not necessary. Just go win. Go win ball games. Yeah.
Just go win. We also have another comment here from McKinley saying the other big thing in the NBA is that they were the first and the biggest partner with gambling sites when it comes to sports. Yeah, I think I saw them first for sure. Then we started seeing them on a lot of NFL, or was it? I want to say NFL. Was it NFL?
I feel like it was NBA first, NFL second,
then baseball.
Yeah, soccer. No, I'm just kidding. I don't watch enough soccer to know that.
I was gonna say, I'm like, what? But yeah, we also got another comment here from Greg Hawkins. The NBA is the worst of the big four sports. Boring. No one cares. It's all about the highlights and superstars. Yeah, it's all about it used to be all about the fourth quarter for the longest time in basketball.
Yeah.
Now it's all about the last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter. That's it.
That's it.
That's when you got to turn the game on.
Yeah.
Let's see here. We got another comment from Tammy Price.
I want to see a game, not a show.
Exactly. Well put. That's 100% true. I mean, just look at the All-Star game, man. It's a joke. You know, we got a comment here from Greg Hawkins. Adam Silver is the worst commissioner, which is saying something. Yes, it's saying a lot, actually.
It's saying everything that needs to be said. It's actually what it is.
I'm turning into an old grouch. I miss the old NBA. Get off my lawn. Start shouting at clouds. All the things, Greg. Welcome.
Welcome to the old man game.
Exactly. We got your New Balance in the mail, buddy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, on their way.
Exactly. We want to know what you think, folks. Let us know what your thoughts are in the comments down below when it comes to the Utah Jazz. Are you seeing this the same way that we're seeing it when it comes to the Utah Jazz, or basically simply just exposing the NBA for basically just kind of pandering to their partners, man?
Yeah.
Sidestepping the quality and the integrity of their league for the bottom dollar.
It is. It's 100% what's happening. It's atrocious. And please do something. Please, NBA, do something. I miss watching basketball.
I do too. Once again, folks, we did launch a channel specifically for your Utah Jazz called Utah Jazz DNA. All of our Utah Jazz content will be posted here. A link to that channel will be in the description down below. We'll be giving away a jersey once this channel hits 1,000 subscribers. So if you're listening to this on our podcast or if you're watching it on our live stream and you're here for Utah Jazz, a link to that channel will be in the description down below.
Like it, comment it, let us know what you think.
Absolutely. All right, let's go ahead and pivot on and talk a little bit about Major League Baseball, shall we?
Let's do it.
All right, man. So we wanted to go ahead and jump into it. There's a reason why I'm wearing a Dodgers hat and a Dodgers jersey, Dodger hoodie today. In case you can't tell, the LA and the thing there. I think there's a World Series champion patch on his arm too.
Oh yeah, that's the one. What did it say? 2020.
This one's
2020.
Yeah, this hat's a 2024, and
Throwback.
I believe one of the hats back here is a 2025. It's a thing.
He's got some gear.
Yeah. Either that or my team just wins a lot. One of the two.
Oh man. It's fine.
It's good. Hey, Greg, stick around. We're going to be talking a little bit about the Cubs today. All right. So what we're going to be talking about, we're going to be talking first about a little bit about player hate and praise towards the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Let's talk about an old school friend of the channel, Manny Machado. This is a guy, when we first started our channel, if you go way back in the day, this is a guy we did not stop talking about. Like every week he was on our channel about.
It was like always in the news for it felt like years, but I mean, it was probably a couple of months.
Yeah. But he's the first guy to get called out on the pitch clock.
Yep.
He was the first one not to step in, and he's also the first one to get the wrong call when he tapped ahead in the ABS system in spring training, which is something we got to talk about. Well, maybe we'll save that for next week.
Because ABS is back.
It is. It's got some changes.
Well, it's here, I guess.
It's here, yes. It was part of spring training last year, but
yeah.
But anyway, so we want to talk about Manny Machado. So when we're going to talk about the players that are casting some glaze towards the Dodgers a little bit here. And the first one is going to be Manny Machado. He started off spring training by saying, "I effing love it. It's great for the game." A few years ago, Bryce Harper said, "Only losers complain about what the Dodgers are doing." Saying that the Dodgers are, don't buy their players. They draft well, they develop well, they trade wisely. It's an organization that is done the right way from top to bottom. And about 2 weeks ago, he said, "I love what the Dodgers are doing, obviously." These are obviously coming from players, obviously coming up with the CBA coming up here soon.
Absolutely.
They're on the player side, and they want the money that the players are earning now. So, yeah, they love to see a team basically just spending money and giving players what they quote unquote deserve. I do think that Kyle Tucker did not deserve $60 million a year. So I'm okay with that one. I'll let that one go. As a Dodgers fan, I'll be like, whatever are you talking about? No, that one, that's a player that does not deserve $60 million a year, but that's okay.
Pay that man.
Even I'm just like, oh, really? Come on, guys. The Dodgers are in the luxury tax. We're paying $120 million a year for that player.
Ouch.
We're spending more on one player than the Marlins are spending on their entire payroll.
That's painful, dude.
And that's not even Shohei, Mookie, or Freddie. That is freaking
Kyle Tucker. Yeah.
It's great. But anyway, so obviously there's definitely a reason for that for sure. But when it comes to that we wanted to talk a little bit about also the players that are throwing some shade the Dodgers way. But before we do that, we want to jump in here. Greg Hawkins, great comment. Bryce Harper makes me want to vomit when he says nice words about the Dodgers. Dodgers are going to reconsider their entire strategy after seeing a full season of Kyle Tucker rollouts to first. Probably true. Probably true.
That's actually awesome.
Yeah. If you can't hit it out of the park at Wrigley, man, it's you got a problem.
Yeah.
You got the basket there for a reason, But let's go ahead and talk about the Cubbies here. I wanted to first talk about P. Crow Armstrong making some comments about the Dodgers, and not particularly the Dodgers, but more their fans.
Yeah.
Did you hear this?
Yeah, I did. I saw this where he went on to kind of criticize, saying the fans don't actually go to the games to pay attention to the game; they only go to take pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I mean, he's not wrong. I mean, there are plenty of fans. I mean, you're in LA. There's a lot of that's the center of influencer culture out there. There's plenty of people there just taking pictures and everything. But yeah, the Dodgers have broken the attendance records for Major League Baseball and have led Major League Baseball in attendance for like 5 straight seasons. That stadium sells out almost every home game, and they also have a capacity at least 4,000 or 5,000 greater than most stadiums. So to come out and say that, it's just a bunch of people taking pictures, no one really cares, like the teams don't care, not exactly a smart statement.
Yeah.
And he did have a chance to walk it back. Did you hear about this one?
No, I didn't see this one.
So he got another interview like the next day where people of foul territory, I believe it was foul territory, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments there, asked him to kind of dive in. He's like, well, I didn't really get a chance to, but let me just go ahead and dive into it. As a kid, I grew up in SoCal, which again, another problem. Dude, you're a SoCal guy. Why you bagging on the Dodgers? You went to Dodgers games. He mentioned witnessing violent behavior from the fans. He mentioned the Brian Stowe incident in 2011 where he was, put into a coma. He was severely beaten, at Dodger Stadium by Dodgers fans. And yeah, definitely, I hope everybody who's involved in that incident, who beat up on that poor guy, I hope that you never have a good day in your life and you're always rained on and you're shit on by every bird that you come in contact with when you're outside. That is unacceptable behavior. But
Every bird you see.
With that said, to basically PCA, you got to know where you're playing from, man. You got to be aware. You play for the Cubs, man. The Cubs are known. They have a reputation for getting drunk, blackout drunk on beer in the stands and fighting each other. When the Dodgers are fighting in the stands, they're usually fighting Giants fans or, Padres fans. The Cubs fans are known for beating up on each other. And it's, hey, I'm all for it, but there's cheap seats out there. There's cheap beer. Go for it, man. Fans, have a good time. And these fans are wailing on each other at Wrigley Field. I understand, just like, come on, man. You got to know your own house before you start throwing stones.
You really do. You really do. You've got to be conscious of the things that are happening at Wrigley before you're starting to. That's crazy.
Yeah, I just think it's pretty funny, man. I think he's a great player. I think he's going to be a talented player. You also don't want to hear this kind of talk, though, coming from – he's been an all-star, and he's a good player. And he kind of fell off last year, but the second half of last year. But, and I love that he walked back that it hasn't anything to do with the players or anything about the office, or it's just the fans. I like that clarification. And he's right. There is a lot of violence, especially when it comes to – Giants fans and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that going back and forth. It is true that there are some violent, you're in Southern California, man. You got to be careful of who you talk to down there.
Yeah, you're in the hood. Let's be real.
You got to be careful. We have some comments here that we want to jump up on here. Let's see here. We have one from Greg here. Dodgers are a huge team, lots of fans, good and bad. I've met more great Dodger fans than bad ones. I'd like to take that personally, Greg. Thank you very much. Hopefully I'm one of the good ones. Let's see here. I want to say, I'd say Philly fans are worse of a fan base than Dodgers fans, probably Yankees too. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good point. They definitely are the loudest and definitely more. I believe they booed Santa Claus the Philadelphia Eagles. They booed Santa Claus in a playoff game, I think, once. And I mean, the Jazz booed a baby. So Jazz fans booed a baby. Do you remember this?
I don't think so.
So there's this Jazz game. I was at this game actually. It was a news story afterwards. But this like mom and her get on Joe Channel like, hey, what's going on? She lifts her baby. He's like, yay, look at my baby. The baby was wearing a BYU onesie, and then the whole stadium just started booing, and they booed a baby because it was in a BYU onesie.
Well, you got to teach him young, and that baby will probably never be a BYU fan again.
Probably not. Probably not.
Yeah.
Cubs fans treat Wrigley Field like it's a giant beer garden. Yeah, no, hey, when it's beer's cheap, you're gonna do what you do there for sure. I support PCA's words because I love Chicago/LA baseball rivalry. Yeah, I mean, I like that PCA is sticking up for his fans. You're saying the right thing to your fan base. You could have just kind of stopped it there. And I love the city. I love the town. The fans here matter without pointing the finger and saying, unlike those guys, I think you're trying to create a rivalry that doesn't exist. I think it's great. Chicago's a great sports town.
Yeah. Absolutely.
They might be losing their football team. Who knows? But, yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I think there was just a little force. You could have done that. You could have pointed the finger towards your actual cross-city rival at the White Sox.
Especially being a young star player in this league. I think that's kind of the last thing you want to do is kind of set that example for
sure.
For kids that are looking up to you as an up-and-coming player, right? Someone that's making a difference on this this baseball team.
Yeah. We got another comment here from Greg. It says, LA just doesn't have the cachet of Chicago. LA never had Jordan. It makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, LA never had Jordan. I like it. Fair point. They only had everybody else, but that's okay.
Literally everybody else.
Yeah. I like it, though. I like it. If you're going to hang your hat on one player, the GOAT is definitely one for sure. You got to love it. But the Cubs aren't actually the worst offender of this, and it's definitely not even PCA. The worst is definitely going to be Jazz Chisholm Jr. Have you heard this stuff?
No, I did not see this one, actually.
Oh, my gosh. This is some good stuff. Okay. So he was talking to the media, right, and talking about, Sorry, the comment from Greg just popped up, and it just made me laugh. We also have the Pope and Obama. Oh, that's great. I love it, dude. That's great.
Yeah, I mean,
way to derail a topic there, Greg.
I don't even remember what we're talking about.
That's awesome.
You just added 10 minutes to the show because we don't even know where we're at.
Anyway, so Jazz Chisholm Jr. was talking to some reporters. And then Tammy, from the left field pavilion right there, Jazz is an idiot. You know where I'm going with this, Tammy. So Jazz Chisholm Jr., he is a player for the Yankees. He mentioned that he's coming up for a contract extension. He's in a contract here. And he said, I'm looking for 8 to 10 years with an AAV of $35 million.
Wow.
Yeah, that's Bryce Harper, Mike Trout type contract, right?
Yeah,
there.
absolutely.
That's what he's thinking he's deserving. And then he basically said, okay, well, and then he basically squashed it. Someone said something about the Dodgers, and he said, I'd rather go to the Angels before I'd go to the Dodgers. I want to go and win by myself. I'd rather build the roof of my house than go to the Dodgers. So, Jazz, I got some good news for you, buddy. You're not going to have to worry about that. The Jazz have absolutely no interest in a third baseman who commits an error and then dabs up after it. If you know, you know. Game 5, World Series. Anthony Volpe threw a ball at you, you dropped it, and you decided to dab after it. So, you're good, buddy. You're good. You're not going to have to worry about the Jazz. Sorry, you're not going to worry about Jazz. You're not going to have to worry about the Dodgers having any interest in paying you $35 million a year for 8 years. It's just not going to happen. There might be a team out there that's dumb enough to pay you that, but it's not going to be the Los Angeles Dodger. Yeah. Did you... Gets better. Did you hear his comments that he mentioned on why he thinks he deserves that kind of contract?
No.
He says, this is coming from the same player who says, I'm going to be the next 50-50 guy.
The next 50-50 guy?
Yeah, Jazz Chisholm Jr. says he's going to be the next 50-50 player.
I mean, I like that he's setting his goals high.
Okay.
How close has he gotten to 50 stolen bases?
He's never gone to 40-40. I'd say get to 40-40 first.
Has he hit 30-30?
I don't even know if he's done that. He might have done 30-30, but he hasn't hit 40-40. And there's only been one player in baseball history to do 50-50. And, yeah, you're not him. You're definitely not him. Now, you do have some pop in the bat. You do play in New York. So, you do have a good chance of hitting 50 bombs in there if, pitchers want to throw to you. But I don't know, man. Like, I would be careful about
but you keep making comments like that. They're not going to throw to you. They're going to throw at you.
Yeah, exactly. This is a lot of cocky stuff coming from a player. And I get some of this Dodger haze because Miguel Rojas is on the Dodgers, and those two don't necessarily get along. And a lot of that is Rojas's fault. He did do some things that you don't want to do to rookie players or young players. It's just some of that hazing stuff that needs to go away. But yeah, dude, you're not Shohei Ohtani, you're not Bryce Harper, you're not Mike Trout, you're not going to get that kind of money, at least not from the Dodgers. So you're not going to have to worry about that. And yeah, coming out and saying that you'd rather go anywhere else than the Dodgers, perfectly fine with us, dude. Go anywhere else you want, because yeah, we don't need somebody who's going to choke in the playoffs and dab up on an error for sure. We've got a few comments here. Greg Hawkins. Let's see, we got this one from Greg. Jazz is overrated. We also have Yankees infield is a disaster. Yeah, I mean, you keep bringing back players like Paul Goldschmidt. He's like 2 years older than me, isn't he? No, he's good against lefties last year, though, so I'll give him that for sure. Let's see here. Jazz couldn't even hit 4 home runs at a derby. Yeah. I mean, Mookie Betts only hit 1, but that's – but, yeah, you're right. He's, I don't know. I just don't see it. I think he could hit 30 home runs. And he could steal 50 bags, but there's no chance he's doing 50-50 for sure. It's a very rarefied air that even some of the greatest players never got to. So, yeah, good times. All right, let's go ahead and pivot on over and talk a little bit about the WBC, man. This is something that was one of the first topics we covered as a channel.
Yeah, absolutely.
Way back in the day, and we were excited that it's back, and we want to talk a little bit about that.
Which is crazy because they do the WBC, every 3 years? It's got to be, right?
Yes. I think it was every 3 years because of the pandemic. They didn't do it in 2020, so they did it in, I can't remember how that works, but it's supposed to be, I don't know if it's supposed to be every 3 years, but it's every 4 years. I can't remember exactly, but I think it's every 3 years.
But what that means is we've been on the air for 3 years.
Yes. And we appreciate every single one of you for tuning in and listening in to what we have to talk about because, it's a lot of fun, and that's why we're here.
Absolutely.
Love the interaction with you guys. All right, so we want to talk a little bit about the plan for some of our best pitchers. We were super excited that Team USA is putting a juggernaut out there, and it all started with the starting rotation of Paul Skeens and Tarek Skubal.
Yep.
Well, some information has come out about that. Did you see anything on this?
I saw the giant glaring highlight that Tarek Skubal is only going to throw 55 pitches.
Yeah.
55.
Yes. So not only that, 55 pitches is apparently his pitch limit, but that's going to be the only appearance he has in WBC.
Yeah.
If they find a way to get to the finals, he wants to make sure he finds a way to get there, but he's only going to be there as an attendee and cheering from the stands. He's only going to pitch once. It's only going to be in pool play against Great Britain on this Saturday.
He's like, watch this, Great Britain.
Yeah.
Dude, at 55 pitches against Great Britain, he could do like 6-7 innings at that.
Yeah, let's hope that he let's go for a Greg Maddux. Yeah. Complete game shutty.
Yeah.
Let's go for that. In 55 pitches. Get a lot of ground balls, dude.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that. This is kind of like a huge blow, dude. Like and then on top of that, Paul Skeens told MLB Insider he expects to start in 2 games, one in pool play and one in the knockout stage. So if we go up against Mexico or the DR or some of these other good teams and it's Paul Skeens that's up, that's it. That's all we get.
Paul Skeens is super surprising, being that he's still so young.
He's still so young, and he's under so much control.
Yeah.
Skubal is on his walk here. He's set to become
Skubal
the highest.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah, he's on deck to become the highest paid pitcher in baseball history.
Yeah.
He's going to break Yamamoto's record, in my opinion. So I can understand that. would I prefer that the pitching doesn't come during pool play? You know?
Yeah, if you're going to throw your one game, throw it in the semifinals.
Yes. Throw it in the knockout rounds for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Not in the one thing. And then, Skeens mentions that he's going to pitch twice, one in a pool play and then once in the knockout rounds. I don't know, man.
Yeah, with 5 days of rest between his two potential starts. I mean, you still got Logan Webb. I haven't seen. Did you see any? I didn't find anything where Logan Webb was going to be shut
I
down.
didn't see anything. No,
pitches.
I didn't see anything on Logan Webb, and I also didn't see anything on the what's his name for the Mets, or was it the Twins? No, the Twins guy had to back out. He got hurt, so they had to replace him with somebody else.
Yeah,
but I don't know, man. I'm just kind of sitting here thinking. While we have a juggernaut offensive team, did you see them play against the Giants, by the way?
No.
It's going to be like 15-2 or something like that.
Oh, really?
Just spanked them. Like, it was bad. The only team that actually lost their exhibition team, the exhibition game against like a professional team in their league, was Japan.
Oh, really?
They lost to the Oryx Buffaloes.
How did that happen?
Yeah, they ended up losing by like 1 or 2 runs. It was really crazy. It was very, very unfortunate. But yeah, man, I'm not excited about this. Well, it looks like we're just going to try to outslug a team and then just have the bullpen kind of cover
enough pitching. Yeah.
Yeah. And just kind of get through it. I'm not a fan of that, but that's what it looks like they're going to be doing. We've got another comment here from Greg Hawkins saying, have you seen seriously Japan takes this tournament? What are we doing? Yeah, exactly. They take it so seriously. Japan does. And they put out their best, all the way down to their, to the Kojin with these young players. They treat this sport so seriously and this tournament so seriously.
Yeah.
That the fact that, I don't think Yamamoto is going to have a pitch limit or a games limit unless the Dodgers put it on him, but yeah, I don't know, man. This is a little ridiculous in my opinion. Like, these are if we're not going to take this serious, there's so much hype about us setting the greatest team we've ever sent there just to pull back our 2 best players, best pitchers. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It doesn't really put us in a position where we're going to compete.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be really tough to compete, especially in some of these later games where, not the guys are going to be super tired. Obviously, it's preseason and they're kind of using it as some of their preseason training, but it's really frustrating to know that you got these key names and you put together this just ridiculous roster. And, we talked about it a couple of weeks ago. Check out our video on the greatest roster ever assembled. And it's like, now we have to redo the video and put an asterisk next to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's like, yeah, it was the greatest roster ever assembled, but you're only going to see it for one game.
Yeah.
Where you're at full strength.
Yeah.
And then you lose Scooball. And then after 2 games, you lose Skeens. And it's like,
yeah. I mean, I still like what we have better than what we did last WBC when we were headlined by Adam Wainwright and Lance Lynn were our 2 best starting pitchers. So
yes,
we still are in a better position. But Wade suck the air out of the room by basically coming out and saying that.
Yeah.
And we get it. Tarek Scooball, you're in a contract here. You don't want to get hurt. We get it. But still, man, spread it out, man, or change the game. Just join your team for early spring training games and then join WBC for the knockout games. That's when you show up, right? So I don't know, man. It's disappointing to see for sure. We actually have another comment here from a friend of the channel, Tammy Price. I agree. We look and sound ridiculous for sure. One last thing we wanted to get on before we get out of here, folks, let you guys get on with your evening. Is there's been more chatter about expansion, Major League Baseball expanding. This has been something that's been coming up a little bit here locally and nationally.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, there's been quite a few media personalities and analysts that are kind of increasingly predicting that Salt Lake City and Nashville are going to be the most likely cities for MLB expansion to move into. There's some other cities that are kind of competing. Portland's a big one, Charlotte, Orlando, and even some talks for Mexico City and Montreal. But right now, Salt Lake City and Nashville kind of have the most traction. It really helps. Obviously, Utah is turning into, and Salt Lake City specifically, is turning into kind of, a sports town. We got a professional hockey team now. We've got the Jazz. And then for Utah to have their 100-acre site that's ready for development, They've got local investors. We've got political support. We've got all the things needed. We're checking all the box, and dude, it's such an exciting time. If Utah could get an MLB team, this place could go crazy.
Oh yeah, I'm fully on board with it. I really love some of these comments are saying. I mean, obviously, Manfred did mention he wants to expand the league before he retires in 2029. That's what he wants to have done. He announced that, 2 years ago.
Right.
It was Mad Dog Russo that mentioned that he sees the two teams being Salt Lake City and Nashville are the two teams. Now, I don't agree with Mad Dog on a lot of things. Like he was the voice of baseball on ESPN because he had the High Heat show, and I just watched him tuck his tail whenever he was on, like with Stephen A. and just would not say the right. It would just not. He just would bite his tongue whenever Stephen A. would talk baseball when he obviously didn't know what the heck he was talking about.
Yeah.
He just didn't get it, and I was kind of just mad at that. But hey, he's voting for Utah, so I like it. I was also Buster Only that also said on Baseball Tonight, if I'm sitting here just guessing today, and that's all, it's just a guess, I'm going to say Salt Lake City is the other team. Obviously, Nashville is going to be the front runner, and then, like you mentioned, Portland being a good option. They also have guaranteed money. They have a site and everything.
Yeah.
The ownership group's in place, but they're not shovel-ready like Utah is.
Yeah.
Utah actually just recently announced, Big League Utah just announced that they've actually hired a landscaping architect for the project. So
yeah,
that we are still continuing to move forward. Be hard to say no if you already actually are building the stadium.
Yeah. I mean, and they're right there. I mean, they're already putting in some of the housing projects around it are already starting to go into that area. I work pretty close to that. So I drive by it and you're like, that's where the stadium's going. And like, they're already putting in housing around it. They're already,
that's awesome.
Yeah. So, I mean, you can see the projects moving forward and it's really exciting. And it really makes, it's like 2029 can't come soon enough. You'd hope that he's going to announce it in the next couple of years. I understand that's his time to retire is 29. Let's get it on the books, man. Don't you want to see a game in Salt Lake City, Rob Manfred?
Oh, for sure. Now, there's obviously some things that need to get out of the way first before they do that. This is probably something that he wanted on the docket sooner, but I knew he probably knows that beforehand. You have the CBA coming up this year.
Yeah.
There's every state that's almost guaranteed there's going to be some kind of lockout. So you probably want to see what happens after that before you commit to expansion cities. And then you also have the issue of other things like TV rights deals. There's so many teams right now that don't have regional or local sports rights.
Yeah.
That they also got to figure that out. So I think those are the two things kind of getting in the way right now. The Rays are going to be playing in their home stadium. The roof is done, so that's awesome.
Yeah.
The A's are still playing in Sacramento. By the way, they're going to be using Sacramento this year on their jersey, so that's cool to see.
That is cool to see.
So they're kind of, as an homage, as a thank you. Their stadium is being built in Vegas, so that is happening. Still doesn't mean that the A's aren't going to go to Vegas. I think if Vegas gets the way they want, they would rather have an expansion team than the A's, but we'll see. But yeah, so there's still some things to get out of the way before they start talking about expansion, but I'm glad that it's forefront in the minds of the MLB community and also other entities that we're still looking at Salt Lake as being one of the destination spots for sure.
Yeah. I mean, major league sports in Utah are different. I mean, college sports in Utah are different. You get fans to show out every single game. We support our teams. So Rob Manfred, I'm sure you're watching this. Please pick Salt Lake City. Just do it.
Yeah. I mean, we're here, man. We're here.
Yeah.
We're ready for you. Love to see it. As a reminder, folks, this channel did hit 1,000 subscribers. So if you're watching on our main channel, DNA Sports Recap, we will be giving the first $500 that we earn in AdSense revenue on this channel back to our subscribers. 5 subscribers are each going to earn $100 each. So if you've not yet, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on that giveaway.
Yep. And if you're watching on YouTube on one of our short videos on either Utah Jazz DNA, Utah Football DNA, or, well, those are just the two. Make sure you like, hit subscribe. We appreciate all your guys' engagement.
With all that said, my name is Darren, that is AJ, and this has been an episode of the DNA Sports Recap.
Till next time.